What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Shameless Watch Collector. After the response to the Casio Amazon guide, I knew we had to keep this going and finish off the Mount Rushmore of Amazon watch hunting. Because just like I said in the Casio video, there are a few brands on Amazon that are just so iconic and loaded with variety that one mention in a list video does not do them justice. And next up is Timex. Timex on Amazon is a gold mine. You've got heritage dress pieces, retro reissues, great dailies, fun digital stuff, divers, GMTs, automatics, oddballs, and pretty much all of them provide ridiculous value. Just a reminder that this is still part of the Amazon Brand Guide series, so we're only focusing on Timex watches that you can find on Amazon. Everything that I've shown in this video will be affiliate linked in the description below. Time to go watch hunting. Let's get into it. As always, quick history lesson because Timex is another company with a really fun backstory. In 1854, the Waterbury Clock Company came to life with the mission to bring personal timekeeping to the masses by making pocket watches special and accessible, offering them at a fraction of the prices that were normal back then. And it was understandably a hit. But as wristwatches took hold during and post World War I, Waterbury adapted. And in 1950, Timex was born. First, Timex became known for rugged field watches, reliable, necessary companions during wartime. But by the 60s and 70s, Timex embraced style, introducing dress watches that still remained affordable but added class and elegance. They transitioned from necessity to privilege, but the prices remained for everyone. More than half a century later, the same formula is still working. Timex is one of the broadest brands out there, especially on Amazon, where their variety means that there is always a deal waiting to be found. And they are unquestionably one of the best brands on the planet that offers modern reissues, because they have the history that makes them special and legit and the passion to do them justice. So today, we're gonna break Timex down into their major lanes, just like we did with Casio. But I'm gonna say the model names of each watch, and I'll put the reference numbers on screen, because they are all way too long to say out loud every time. So let's boot up the Timex machine. Just go with it, guys. It's fun. And dial it back all the way to the origins of the company and take a look at Waterbury. The Waterbury line is obviously named after the town where the company started, and that's exactly what this collection feels like, and a big reason as to why it's so charming. First up, let's set the pace with what Timex does better than almost anyone: dress-leaning chronographs. And check out the Waterbury Chrono Classic. You've got a 40mm stainless steel case with a mineral glass on the dial, a super clean and attractive multi-register layout, and that old school Timex charm. I'd be looking to grab this one somewhere around that $80 to $110 range, which should also give you a good idea of the amazing value you can expect from the rest of this video. Then you've got the Waterbury Diver Chrono. This is one of those pieces that sits right in the middle of dressy and sporty thanks to that super clean dial layout, which Timex also consistently is really good at. Even though they call this a diver on Amazon, it's a chronograph to me personally. It's 41mm in diameter, it has 100 meters of water resistance, and you got a stainless steel bracelet version or a leather strap. I'm also a sucker for that W at the end of most of the seconds hands on the Waterbury pieces as well. You can also find one of the louder Timex chronographs here overall, with that multicolor subdial layout on the silver one. Anywhere under $200 would be a steal for this gorgeous chronograph. The Heritage chronograph is too beautiful not to mention real quick. This one comes in at 39mm and is personally my favorite Timex in the Waterbury line, with that drop-dead gorgeous black and gold color palette and ultra-premium stainless steel bracelet. The price of beauty does not come cheap, as $285 would be an exceptional price for this one on Amazon. You also have the 41mm traditional chronograph models, where you get 3 sundials instead of the 2 on the Heritage, along with a date between 4 and 5 o'clock. This one is typically priced about $100 less than the Heritage as well. The simpler 3-hand Waterbury is a 40mm black dial piece with 50 meters of water resistance, a really nice bezel flute, and the Indiglow feature, which lights up the entire dial, and is awesome. This one is currently marked down to under $50 on Amazon, so if that's still the price when this video drops, I don't think I have to say much else. I also really like the Waterbury Field Watch with its full Arabic numerals, easy wearability, and that authentic field watch personality that Timex has been perfecting for nearly a century. It's just a useful, handsome field watch that can be found for around $60 when on discount on Amazon. The Waterbury Day Date is the Waterbury oddball to me. Like, I'm not sure if this watch is even allowed to sit with the other Waterbury models. We all know what it looks like, and it's not the rest of the Waterbury line. But honestly, I love this take on it, especially if you want a more colorful, modern heritage spin. This is a 41mm diameter quartz piece with 50 meters of WR and a price tag of $125 currently. I mostly just wanted to show this one because it made me giggle, and we all know that I've shown far more shameful things than this on this channel. Let's restore some dignity though, with the timeless Waterbury GMTs, which are consistently where I see some of the heaviest Timex discounts overall on Amazon. You have a stainless steel bracelet version or a tan strap available on this 39mm quartz GMT. It's a little understated, but it still has enough visual flavor to strike a nice balance. I consistently see these dip below $100, and the bracelet or strap doesn't seem to matter in terms of pricing. I just love the Waterbury series, and I felt like that was the perfect way to start this journey. It's a great example of Timex throwing it back to their storied history with amazing modern watches that have all the charm and enthusiasm in the world. But now let's level up, boot back up the Timex machine, and continue to work our way through the decades of Timex. Let's go to the 1960s and take a look at the Marlin line. The 60s. Remember those times? I don't. The Marlin line is Timex at its most romantic. This collection traces back to the 1950s, but it really came into its own in the 1960s. And the modern Marlins still feel like Timex reaching back into that era for inspiration. This is where you go when you want Timex to feel dressier, more nostalgic, and it's also where you'll find some of their coolest racing and automotive themed pieces. The regular Marlin Automatic Classic is such an easy watch to love. 38mm in diameter and only 11 thick, and this automatic powered by the MO2N Timex movement. This is pretty much the exact size I want from a retro Timex dress watch. It has that compact, vintage forward silhouette, and I'll even excuse the acrylic lens because it does play into the whole vintage theme. The whole thing just feels period correct, and again, you're gonna hear me say this word a lot, charming. I'd be hunting for these anywhere close to $250. This is also where you will find the first Peanuts collaboration piece of this video. Has enough restraint that it still feels like a proper watch for adults. So if you want something playful and collectible without losing the charm of the Marlin platform, this one makes a ton of sense, and it'll be a fun conversational piece. The Marlin Subdial Automatic is a dressier, more elevated Marlin with a cleaner, more old-world presentation than the standard automatic. It's 39mm in diameter and incredibly impressive at only 9 thin, so it hits that sweet spot where it still feels vintage inspired, but it doesn't feel too small for modern buyers. I especially like that Timex didn't overcomplicate this one. This is a watch for people who just want an exceptional layout and personality without any extra noise. And priced at $199 right now on Amazon, that is ridiculous value for an automatic Timex. Then we get into the Marlin Chronograph, which is the more energetic, sporty option, and also where you'll find some of my favorite Timex watches out there, period. The Motorsport-inspired Trio. Still all the right vintage-inspired design cues, but just with the right amount of tasteful automotive elements. I mean, if you can't tell by now, Timex does not miss when it comes to chronographs. Anywhere under $200 is a great price for the Motorsport-inspired ones, while the classic Marlin chronographs can be closer to around $150. The Marlin Jet Automatic is completely different, but still a stunner. The official Timex description calls out the 1960s futuristic design ideals, and you can absolutely see it. The 38mm case, the silhouette, the domed acrylic lens, all make it feel like it came straight out of the 60s. I also love how those indices sit deep inside those pockets, along with the subdial sitting below the main dial, making the whole watch feel super layered. I'm also a sucker for stuff like the Marlin text on the bottom of the case. This is another Timex automatic powered by their M02N, and the price for this one is currently around $300. And we'll wrap up the Marlin section with the moon phase. 40mm in diameter and only 12 thick. Acrylic crystal again, calendar subdials to give you that beautiful Marlin look, and a really nice moon phase display towards the bottom of the dial. It doesn't look crowded, still looks classy, and actually like a quartz moon phase, because you always get to enjoy that moon phase feature without worrying about owning a watch winder or wearing it every day. This one falls in line with the normal Marlin chronograph pricing, currently sitting at $220 on Amazon for the stainless steel bracelet and $199 for the leather strap. So while the Marlin line certainly isn't the cheapest when it comes to Timex watches, I do think they justify their prices with beautifully and intentionally designed pieces and some solid materials. But now, let's talk about where you can find some of the lowest priced Timex pieces. Once again, boot up the Timex machine, and we're going to travel back to the origins of Timex this time, and take a look at the Expedition line. Timex positions the Expedition as its outdoor adventure collection. This is where you get the field watches, the solar stuff, the tougher digitals, and the North models that step things up with better materials and more serious capability. The Expedition Scout 40mm is one I talk about all the time on here as one of the best value watches on the planet. If somebody asked me what the default Timex field watch is, I'd say it's this one. Simple field dial, tons of strap and dial color options, great legibility, and a simple quartz movement. You also get 50 meters of water resistance and the Indiglow backlight. It's the kind of watch that you can recommend to basically anybody. And the best part is, it usually lives in the price range where it's an absolute no-brainer. A few colors right now are marked down to just $25. There's something here for smaller wrists too. You have the Expedition 36mm field. This is a great option if you want something simple, old school, and versatile. You still get 50 meters of water resistance and Indiglow, and it's currently sitting at around $60 on Amazon. Now if you want Expedition to feel more premium, that's where the North line comes in. The North Sierra provides a 40mm stainless steel case, a restrained dial design, and doubles the water resistance from the two previous Expedition watches to 100. The cream option is on sale on Amazon for only $55 at the time of writing this video, so keep your eye on this one for great deals. The North Anchorage is an especially cool 43mm quartz diver where the materials really take a step up. Sapphire crystal, 200 meters of water resistance, a steel bracelet, or a super cool silicone strap, and a really clean yet unique design. I love the colors on the top of the dial on this one. For only $100, this is a really compelling watch. And then the star of the section for me personally is the Expedition North Titanium Automatic. Full titanium case, automatic movement, 41mm in diameter and only 12.5 thick, and 200 meters of water resistance. It gives the whole Expedition line a halo piece that makes the rest of the collection feel stronger. It also just looks so good, and it stays true to that Expedition line up front and shows off the M02N movement with a transparent case back, along with the Expedition logo. This is one I'd watch really closely on Amazon because when they dip, they get really tempting. It's currently marked down just 10% for me at $350. The more feature-driven side of Expedition is cool too. The 43mm field chronographs find that perfect mix of rugged and classy, which I didn't even know was a thing. I really love the shades of green they played with on a few of these. And per usual with the Expedition line, you have a bunch of different dial styles to choose from that bring totally different personalities to the watch. And there's two versions on the listing I linked, one with a tachymeter and 100 meters of water resistance, while the other is more chronograph styled than it is chronograph functional, with a 24-hour clock and a calendar on the sub-dials and only 50 meters of water resistance. Much like the Scout, this is a watch you can find at prices that just don't make sense. In a great way. The green one right now is currently marked down to just $45, while the true chronos are closer to $75. Then you have the Trap Rock Solar, which is an eco-minded 40mm solar option with a recycled strap and a cool texture on the dial. I do wish the water resistance was a little stronger here, sitting at only 30 meters, but at least you get that solar movement on a great looking piece. And for around $65 for this beauty, it's hard to be upset about really anything. I even have an analog digital here for you guys, the 39mm Expedition Camper. This is a rugged looking case with an awesome combination of a field dial and a small digital display around 6 o'clock. You're also getting 100 meters of WR here, along with a nylon strap. Look to get this one on discount, as it's marked down 30% right now for me, currently at $55 on Amazon. So now let's go full digital. The Cat and Cat 5 watches are just pure old school Timex outdoor digital energy. Here you have a resin case, a practical timer, an alarm, Indiglow, and designs that look straight out of 2004, which is charming now, which makes me feel like a fossil. The Cat 5 in particular is packed with functionality, including a 100-hour chronograph, a countdown timer, alarms, dual time, plus 100 meters of water resistance on both watches. Both of these are great value digital pieces too, with prices that usually range from $30 to $60 on Amazon, with several different options available. I really can't get enough of the Expedition line, and I understand why some enthusiasts have collections that are pretty much all different Expedition pieces. Alright guys, get back in the Timex machine, because we're going to the 1970s, and we're taking a look at the Q line. Time for one of the coolest modern Timex categories, one that is understandably getting Timex a lot of attention lately. This whole line is built around the brand's quartz era from the 1970s, and Timex positions Q as a continuation of those early quartz icons. The anchor here is still the Q 38mm classic diver reissue. This is one of Timex's modern hits for a reason. It looks fantastic. It has that late 70s sport watch personality, the Pepsi-ish bezel ring, the woven stainless steel bracelet, the battery hatch on the back, the domed acrylic. Timex just pulled all the stops out here to make this watch feel as period correct as possible. This is one you'll constantly find on discount as well. Anywhere around $150, I consider a great striking price. The Q Continental GMT is an absolute stunner. This one takes the 70s energy and cleans it up into something more refined and elegant. It's a 39mm case that's only 9 thick, and the quartz GMT complication is done with a window at 6 o'clock. It all looks great together, and you're also getting lume on the hands and 50 meters of water resistance. That stainless steel bracelet ties it all together so seamlessly as well. The white dial is currently only $165 on Amazon for me, while the black is the normal price of $209. Either way, not bad at all for what I think is one of the best looking Timex pieces out there. And if you like this case and bracelet style but aren't digging the quartz GMT dial, how about a full digital dial with the Q80? Literally everything else is the same here, except you get a digital dial in either silver or gold. Somehow, this watch works just as well as the GMT. Such wild execution by Timex here, and one of my favorite digital watches, full stop. The Q80 is slightly cheaper as well, with the gold one tempting me in all kinds of ways right now, currently discounted down to just $85. The 40mm Q chronograph is another beautiful chronograph from Timex. Again, they do not miss when it comes to a watch with subdials. The Q Chrono perfectly nails what a 70s inspired chronograph should look like, while giving off subtle motorsport energy that I'm always a sucker for. Every color combination in this one is a home run. You also get to choose between that premium stainless steel bracelet or a leather strap that I actually think goes better with the overall design of this watch. The prices do range quite a bit for the several color and strap combos available, but I'd say anywhere under $150 is a no-brainer for this one. Then the Falcon Eye. Both the 3-hand and the chrono versions adds one of the most interesting dials Timex has done in this whole modern retro run. The 3-hand Falcon Eye is a 38mm piece with a gorgeous striped dial, acrylic crystal, and a day-date layout. The chrono version takes that same funky visual personality and cranks it up to 40mm and adds a wild and unique texture with a ton of depth. You also get that integrated stainless steel looking bracelet that I do like more than the bracelet you find on the 3-hand. All of the Falcon Eye pieces though seem to range from about $160 to $215 on Amazon. And then you've got the 1972 Gold Tonu, probably the most unapologetic watch on this entire list. This thing is bursting with personality. Burgundy dial, gold tone 39mm by 43mm case, domed acrylic crystal, the Tonu shape. This thing looks like it walked straight out of a smoke-filled lounge back in 1978. The attention to detail is everywhere on this one too, down to the battery hatch on the back and those beautiful raised indices. It's not subtle and it's not trying to be. If you want a super unique Timex that feels flashy yet dressy, this would be my pick. And it looks way more expensive than its normal price of around $175. However, it's currently marked down over 30% on Amazon for me, down to $122. That is very, very tempting. Q is where I think Timex is releasing some of their best looking watches right now, and I love how all in they're going on these. Alright, before we wrap this up, I have one more section for you guys, and it's simply just called the bonus section. I wanted to hit a few Timexes that don't perfectly fit into the main categories, but they absolutely deserve a shout out. So for the last time today, let's get in the Timex machine and let's go to 1983 and take a look at the Timex E-line. I love that this watch exists, especially for all my small wrist friends out there. A 34mm TV dial style case, the Miyota 8215 automatic movement, an expansion bracelet, and a design that Timex ties back to one of their 1983 models. Available in a range of amazing colors, some elegant and understated, others loud yet tasteful. This thing is just pure retro charm at its best, and feels like Timex's biggest flex yet, showing off just how good they are and how well they understand this whole modern retro thing. This watch always seems to sit at its normal price of $249, which is hard to argue with, to be honest. This is a special Timex piece that feels like it's not going to lose an ounce of value over time. Then there's the Harborside Coast family. You've got the automatic versions and the quartz version. And these are Timex giving us quality, stainless steel, American-made divers without the normal price tag that comes with it. Around $175 for the automatics, and it seems like you can always get the quartz pieces for under $100 during sales on Amazon or just randomly, as we all know. These are 43mm pieces with 100 meters of water resistance, and they have one of my favorite diver color combos that Timex offers. That bright green-yellow dial with the black and blue bezel. I love color combos that have no business working together, but do. And this is definitely what I consider one. The M79 Automatic is one of the landmark watches that made people look at modern Timex differently, and also appreciate their dedication to retro styling. 40mm, the Miyota 8205 automatic movement this time, a steel woven bracelet, two-tone bezel inserts, loomed hands, 50 meters of WR, and a day-date dial. It's basically Timex taking the Q recipe and powering it with a Miyota automatic. This is another one where the prices are like the Grand Canyon, depending on the color and the strap combo, ranging from $114, which might be the best deal of this whole video, all the way up to $295 if you want yet another Peanuts collab piece. And if Peanuts wasn't enough for you, you've got the Monopoly pieces. You get both a quartz and automatic option here, both with tasteful but fun designs. Surprisingly, I mean to me at least, the far less expensive quartz dial, priced at $75, is way more restrained than the $280 automatic option, which features the Monopoly man striking a fun pose front and center, and he is huge. Also, how is that angle his body is in possible? Like, what are his arms doing? Is he okay? I do love the hour markers though, a lot of charm. The classic digital 34mm is for those of you who want to be different from all your friends with their Casio 91Ws. Or if you're someone who still likes everything being American made, for whatever reason, now you don't have to be jealous of them anymore. You can look down on them and say something like, "Oh, your Casio doesn't have Indiglo? Oof, that's rough." Because just like them, you'll still have an alarm, day-date display, and a 24-hour chronograph with lap and split timing. And this digital beauty costs around the same as the digital Casios as well, currently priced from around $35 to $42 on Amazon. The Legacy Tonu is essentially the same case I showed you guys earlier with the Q line, around the same size, except instead of gold, you get either polished or gunmetal, a layered dial with 3 subdials, a quartz movement again, mineral crystal, and more of that 70s flair that I clearly cannot get enough of. This one though is far less expensive than the gold Q, priced from $120 to $165 right now. Then you jump over to the Deepwater line, where Timex gets a whole lot more serious. The standard Deepwater Reef gives you a 41mm stainless steel case, 200 meters of water resistance, a screw-down crown and case back, sapphire crystal with AR coating, a unidirectional bezel, and Super Luminova. Sounds like a micro brand, not Timex, besides the quartz movement, but the pricing is AliExpress-esque, only $229. So if you're looking for an American-made spec monster and you aren't a stickler about your movement, this is the choice. You can even go with a standard diver or a GMT and the price stays in the same ballpark. The only major upgraded version of this one is the Deepwater Titanium, where the full titanium case brings the total weight down to 81 grams with the rubber strap. That is insane light for a 41mm diver. But brace yourself for the highest price of this video, $545. Yeah, I think that's our sign that we've officially met the end of the road. Thank you all so much for watching this Timex roundup. This one was so much fun to make, honestly a lot more fun than I expected going in, but Timex just kept reminding me how awesome they are, over and over again. Timex can give you a straightforward field watch for beer money, a genuinely cool retro reissue for great value, and then a gorgeous automatic that feels underpriced to be American made. That's why Timex is one of the strongest brands to hunt on Amazon. There's just so much range here, and so few, if any, misses. If you're from my AliExpress side of the channel, I'm sure some of the specs underwhelmed you here. That's not the point of Timex, in my opinion at least. These watches are all about heritage, over a century of creating timepieces and then having enough passion and design skill to so seamlessly tie in designs from decades ago into modern watches and give us that authentic nostalgia that makes us feel so warm inside. I guess that's a big difference between Timex and 99% of AliExpress companies we talk about on here. While AliExpress brands are making spec'd out monsters, they're uninspired in design and often lack any real creative undertakings. all the focus is on materials and craftsmanship, which is awesome. But you come to Timex because they aren't always homaging watches, and most of what I showed you today are modern reissues, which are so different from a homage, and I think objectively better. So ultra premium materials weren't the focus here, but instead doing the reissue justice with retro design details and parts that are exclusive to just one model a lot of the time. And you can tell with all of these models that they care so much about doing these watches justice, and they appreciate their own history so much. A history that spans back far further than most other watch brands in the world today. All the watches I mentioned today are affiliate linked below. And remember to check frequently. These prices change constantly on Amazon. I'll see you all very soon for more watch reviews, and we're going to finish off the rest of our Amazon Mount Rushmore. But until then, Shameless Watch Collector, signing out. And always remember, it's not that serious.